Today, we're diving into generative AI. Now, you've probably heard about it creating incredible art or writing poetry, but what happens when that same technology is used to forge the perfect crime? And what if, get this, that very same tech is the only thing that can solve it? Okay, let's get into it. So that really brings us to the core question of this whole explainer. In the world of crime, is generative AI a weapon or a shield? As you're about to see, the answer is, well, it's not that simple. Because right now, it's absolutely both. You've got to think of this technology as a double-edged sword. I mean, on one side, it's creating threats that honestly we've never seen before. But on the other, it's handing law enforcement some incredibly powerful new tools. Now, what's so fascinating here is how these two sides are constantly feeding off each other. It's not just that generative AI is making old crimes, like fraud, way more effective, it's inventing entirely new categories of crime. And at the exact same time, it's become the key to helping investigators wade through all the digital chaos these crimes leave behind. It's this constant, high-stakes cat and mouse game where both sides are getting smarter and a whole lot faster. So let's start with the darker side of the coin, shall we? Because we're not just talking about updated criminal tactics. We are talking about a completely new breed of crime, supercharged by AI. So how are the bad guys actually using this stuff? Well, it pretty much boils down to three main things. First, they're creating scarily realistic deepfakes. Second, they're automating fraud and social engineering on a massive scale. And third, they're using it to write malware and find security holes to attack. Let's break each of those down. First up, and this one is probably the most disturbing, is the power of AI to generate fake images and videos that look completely real. This tech is being weaponized for everything from political disinformation to fraud and even to the creation of truly awful content like computer-generated child sexual abuse material, or CSAM. And that, as you can imagine, presents a monumental challenge for law enforcement. Then, of course, there's fraud. GAI can write these perfectly tailored, super convincing phishing emails that are almost impossible to tell from the real thing. It can even clone a CEO's voice from just a short audio clip found online and then use that clone to trick an employee into wiring away millions of dollars. It just makes scams like social engineering and extortion devastatingly more effective. And this is a real game changer. Criminals don't even need to be expert coders anymore. They can literally use GAI as their own personal coding assistant to write malicious software for them or to just relentlessly scan a company's systems looking for a single weakness. The barrier to entry for committing serious cybercrime, it's getting lower every single day. Okay, I know, that all sounds pretty grim. But here's the pivot. While criminals have been busy learning all these new tricks, investigators have been rewriting their own playbook. They're actually turning the criminal's favorite new toy right back against them. Which brings us to our next section, fighting fire with fire. See, law enforcement is now adopting generative AI to level the playing field and in some really cool ways to actually get ahead of the curve. So how exactly are they using it? Well, they're focusing on three key areas: automating the analysis of just massive amounts of evidence, detecting digital deception, like those deepfakes we talked about, and streamlining the whole reporting process so that the evidence holds up in court. Just try to imagine the sheer volume of data in any modern investigation. We're talking terabytes of server logs, phone records, cloud data. It is a digital haystack the size of a mountain. GAI acts like a digital bloodhound, sniffing through all of it to find the trail, a single pattern or a hidden connection that a human investigator, or even a whole team of them, could easily miss. It's a true force multiplier. And to fight back against that deep fake problem, researchers are training AI models to be digital detectives. These AIs are learning to spot the tiny, almost invisible giveaways, things like unnatural blinking patterns, subtle pixel glitches, or the way light reflects just a little bit wrong, all the little tells that just scream fake. So the crucial point here is we're now using AI to catch AI. So let's pull back the curtain a bit and see how this all fits into an actual investigation. You know, how do investigators go from a potential crime to presenting rock-solid evidence in court, especially when AI is in the mix? Well, it follows a really strict four-step process. First step is identification. That's finding potential evidence wherever it might be hiding. Second is preservation. And this is critical. They make perfect digital copies so the original is never, ever touched. Third is analysis. This is the deep dive where they extract and examine all the data. And finally, documentation, keeping a meticulous record of every single thing they do. It's called the chain of custody, and it's what proves the evidence's integrity in court.
And you should know, they're not just using regular software for this. Investigators rely on highly specialized, professional-grade tools to handle and make sense of AI-related digital evidence. This kind of forensic work is way, way beyond anything you could do with off-the-shelf programs.
All of this incredible, fast-moving technology, of course, leads to an even bigger question. We are in the middle of what you could call the great regulation race, basically trying to keep our laws and society's rules in step with technology's giant leaps forward. And there are some major hurdles here. The biggest one is just speed. Technology is evolving so much faster than our legal systems can possibly hope to keep up. We also need clear rules for huge issues like data privacy and who owns what. And because cybercrime doesn't care about borders, we absolutely need global coordination to stop criminals from just hiding out in countries with weaker laws.
The good news is, people are definitely working on it. Here in the US, agencies like NIST are creating frameworks to help manage these risks. And in other places, like Hong Kong, they're using something called regulatory sandboxes, which are basically safe, controlled environments where they can test new GAI applications and figure out their impact before they're just released into the wild.
So, we end right where we began, with a question. We're in a full-blown technological arms race, a sprint between those who use AI for crime and those who use it for justice. And the final thought I really want to leave you with is this. In this race, who is ultimately going to stay ahead?